The Pulse School on RealAgriculture.com is brought to you by BASF.
Hey, Kara Oosteros here with RealAgriculture.com. I am back here today with another Pulse School episode, and I have here with me Lyle Jensen with Agro Plus. How's it going today, Lyle?
Oh, pretty good, thanks.
So we're here today to talk, pulse crops are off the ground. However, it is planning for next year is well underway, and with planning comes fall weed control. Do you want to tell me a bit about what you're going to want to be considering?
Well, the last few years have demonstrated that with the dry spring weather, sometimes, those long residual herbicides can be a little bit of a gamble to go in with in the spring, and that we are much safer to put them down in the fall. So this field, as you can see, is cereal stubble. This would be like a target field that we would be going into pulses next year. So we're going to be looking for, certain weed species that would give us problems in pulses, mainly things like kochia and Russian thistles, as well as wild oats.
So are you mostly going after the perennials at this point?
At this point, for fall control, that's the best time to take care of your perennial weeds, whether it's things like foxtail, downy brome, or Canada thistle, or even quackgrass. Fall is the best time to get all of those under control.
Now, when you're watching, daylight hours are going down, so of course your herbicide efficacy is going to change there too. Talk a bit about the weather and how that impacts fall weed control.
Yeah, well, with the lower daytime temperatures, to some degree it can help with some of the weeds that were previously hardened off by, 35, 36 degrees Celsius daytime highs. Like kochia was pretty much almost impossible to kill for quite some time there now. But now it's getting a little bit easier, but with the temperatures being lower, it does take a lot longer for visual symptoms to appear. So it can, sometimes be 2 to 3 weeks after application before you can tell whether you're going to have mortality or not.
Now, pulses are famously known for their lack of competitiveness. Talk about how important it is that there is a clean field when they're coming up in the spring.
Oh, it is extremely important. In most pulses, our weed control options in crop are especially limited, usually to a group 2 for broadleaf weed control. So really it's essential that you go into those fields clean in the spring, and a lot of that comes down to proper weed control in the fall. Typically with the group 14, 15 chemicals that we kind of rely on for, fall and spring residual weed control in the pulses, we're going to be trying to apply those as close to freeze up as possible in order to kind of maximize that long-term residual in the spring. So typical for Alberta, it's not always easy to predict when things are going to freeze up or when we're going to start getting frost. So a more reasonable approach would be to wait until soil temperature is kind of consistently below that 10 degrees. Even 5 degrees would be even safer. That's going to kind of put a pause on the activity of that herbicide in the soil, and it'll just kind of safely sit there and not activate really until the spring. Yet that moisture that we're going to get, hopefully at some point during the summer, or during the winter, we should at least get a little bit of snow that will help to activate that herbicide and have it in place when the soil warms up in the spring.
Now, with non-residuals, how cold can we be looking at before it's just too cold to spray?
Really, nighttime temperatures below 5 will start to affect weed uptake. You should be waiting until, temperatures are kind of a minimum of, 12 to 15 degrees during the daytime for maximum efficacy.